Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Oh, welcome back. 6:09, Monday, May 9th, 46 degrees. Get up to 72 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. The conversation now turns to the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation's Director of Educational Programming, Wendy Liscow. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's early.
It's early? Come on, you're probably still in your footy pajamas, calling in, just ready to talk about education, right?
That's true. That's true. I didn't get up at 3.
No. See? All right. And thanks for rubbing that in, by the way. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for joining us. And so, Wendy, why don't you tell folks a little bit about the Geraldine Dodge Foundation for those who may not know?
Great. Well, the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation, we've been around for a little over 40 years. And Geraldine R. Dodge, the R, I think, is more informative. We are not about making cars. The R stands for Rockefeller. And Geraldine was very committed to animals and arts, and the first executive director, along with the board, came up with a mission to advance New Jersey. And right now we fund education, the arts, environment, informed communities, and we each year have every other year we have a major poetry festival, and every year we have a lot of poetry in schools programming.
Cool. And so, Wendy, you have been with the foundation for what, 13 years now?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. You seem like I surprised you there. Like you were like, wow, that's a long time. I didn't realize it's been that long.
It is a long time. I've been in a variety of roles, and so it has gone by very fast.
Well, that's great. That means you enjoy what you do, right?
I love what I do.
All right. So prior to that, you were in the theater as administrator, director, producer. Worked at the associate artistic director at the George Street Playhouse. So why don't you tell us how you kind of ended up in the grant making community?
Yeah, it's interesting because I went into the theater because I love the theater. Actually, I have a degree in education as well, and when you're a young teacher and you're thinking, well, I think I want to be able to have some professional experience, I said I'm just going to go back and try to be a professional theater director and dramaturg for a year, and I'll come back to education. Well, I didn't get back, for another 25 years. And so I was working in the theater and was really feeling like I needed to have, it was really actually after 9/11, I wanted to have more impact. I thought this is really important work. I think people don't understand the power of the arts for peacemaking, to have conversation and dialogue. So I started to look to finding a place where I could have greater impact. And, foundation work is really a perfect place to be able to fund other people who are doing great work and get them to magnify that. And so as soon as I had this opportunity to go to Dodge, I switched over, and because it also allowed me to get back to my original love of education, and it also allowed me to get back to my love of environment, because I actually thought I was going to be Jane Goodall when I was growing up. So,
right.
All three of my loves came together.
Well, that's awesome. So now you get to. So, what does a typical day look like for you? I mean, what are your I don't know that people. I think when people hear that somebody is an accountant or somebody is a banker, I think they have a pretty clear idea, or, you work in construction. I think we kind of get that. What does your everyday look like?
Well, that's funny that you ask, because I don't think I have a typical day, and that's probably why I also loved philanthropy, because at theater you end up having a different project every 3 months. You enter a different world. You get to meet different people, and philanthropy is very much the same way in that we have dockets where you can apply only 3 times a year, so you're looking and meeting different people all the time. So my typical day is to read and evaluate a proposal, design the questions that I have, and going out and meeting grantees or potential grantees. And we get to see, I go to Trenton, I go to Camden, I go to Patterson, to Newark. I'm visiting schools. I'm visiting people who work in schools. I'm seeing kids. I'm going to concerts where kids are actually presenting. And then I'm on the phone a lot and in my car a lot and meeting people. And then we actually, what we end up doing is we try to write the stories down about our grantees, present it to our board, who then approve our proposed docket, we call them, and make grants. And then we write letters to them. It's a continual cycle of evaluating and reaching out to your grantees.
So how does it feel to be like the most popular person that walks into the room every time you walk in? Because at the end of the day, your job really is, aside from, and I know you do, there's a lot of administrative, there's a lot of, grind to it as well a little bit, but really when people see you, they're like, oh, that's somebody that can help fund my project. And so that makes you like pretty cool to hang out with, right?
Yeah, I haven't told a bad joke in many, many years.
That's true, right? People think you're funny. They think you're not that you aren't, by the way, Wendy. I of course think you are.
Yeah, well, I had to find a job. When I was in the theater, I also did a lot of casting. So I was everybody's friends at that point, too.
Right.
So I had to find another job where people wouldn't tell me that I was wearing blue eyelashes. I wore blue mascara for 20 years, and no one told me that didn't work.
So you're saying that you've really, throughout your career, you have searched for jobs that are good for your self-esteem, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. So when we come back, Wendy, can you talk to us a little bit about the technical assistance workshops?
I would love to.
All right, that would be great. And we'll talk about some other things that the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation are working on. Wendy Liscow, Geraldine Dodge Foundation, Director of Educational Programming, back after this.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Make a difference at the Jersey Shore. 732-505-1160. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Hey, we're back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back with Wendy Liscow, Program Director, Education for the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. So, Wendy, tell us a little bit about the technical assistance workshops.
Yeah, well, for many years, we've tried to not only help fund people, nonprofits, but we also thought that we would try to help build their capacity. And by that, we mean help them with their board, their management, their budgeting work, their marketing. And instead of, for many years, we did a series of just one-time workshops. And over the years, we realized that the way adults learn is they actually need to be able to come in and spend a good deal of time, practice the work, and come back and have a learning community. So we established a board leadership training series because we feel that most nonprofits have to work on their board leadership. We rely in the nonprofit sector on our nonprofit board to help us with our fundraising, with our ambassador work, and our finances. So we really needed to sharpen that. So we have an 8-month series where people come once a month as a team, as an executive team with the board. And then we also have a communication series that was five sessions long. And now we are working on a different mechanism to train people around marketing and communications.
That's great. So, I don't think folks realize when they hear about foundations. I think we hear a lot. Obviously, you hear a lot about the Gates Foundation and some of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and you guys, the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. I think that folks just think that they write a lot of big checks and then they move along, right? I don't think that they realize the amount of work where the real work is, which is the workshops that you're talking about, the capacity building, and really the investment in each of the grantees to make sure they not only have the money, but they're successful with it.
Absolutely. We have been funding many of our grantees over 20 years. You can go back and find some that we've been funding for 30 years. Now, some people might say, wow, that's not great. You stick with someone for 30 years. How do the rest of us get in here? But in many cases, we find that those people, those organizations, the really great organizations are able to be nimble and they adjust over time. So if you were to go back and look at the record, we wouldn't have been funding them for the same thing over those 30 years because they have evolved. And part of that evolving is making sure that your foundation is strong.
Right.
The nonprofit's foundation, not our foundation.
Right. Right. And so with those kind of grantees, do you ever get frustrated with them? I mean, you've seen their grant application year after year after year. Do you ever feel like there's a little bit of a copy and paste job and you've got to call somebody up and just say, listen, can we freshen this up a little bit? We've been doing this over and over again. I mean, how does that work?
Well, those are the ones that don't get funded.
Okay.
You just described someone who doesn't.
Right. I got to write that note down because that's maybe that's one of our problems. Hold on one second, Red. Don't copy and paste. Okay, got it. Wendy, can you give folks kind of just an idea? How much does the Dodge Foundation typically give out on an annual basis?
It's around $12 million.
All right, and of that, how much of that is education based?
Well, we give out about $2.5 million in education.
Wow! And
a lot of our education dollars are targeted towards arts education. $2.5 million sounds like a lot in some ways, but when you are looking at the needs in the education arena, it's a drop in the bucket.
Right.
And so for that reason, but even more so because of our belief in the power of the arts
right.
for every kid, we really are committed to making sure that every kid not only has access, which is one thing, that means they might have teachers, one teacher in the school, but that they are also participating in the arts.
Right, right.
And research shows that kids who are underserved and who don't have an opportunity outside of school to be exposed to the arts really need to get it in school
right.
or after school.
Right. Wendy, when we come back, can you hang with us one more segment?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So when we come back, I want to give you our magic wand so that you can make an impact. Okay. I also want to hear maybe about a couple of things that you're kind of the most proud that you've been funding over the last few years. And maybe about the partnerships that you have with the arts segment of the Dodge Foundation. Cool?
Great.
All right, awesome. Wendy Liscow, Program Director, Education, Geraldine Dodge Foundation. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back right after this.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. The Pup app for smartphones and tablets. News Talk Radio.
1160 and 1310. WOBM.
Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:33, Monday, May 9th, 50 degrees, getting up to 72 today, WOBM, AM 1160 and 1310. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app or at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We're Wendy Liscow. She is the Director of Educational Programming for the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation. So, Wendy, why don't you give us a couple of programs that you've been funding recently that you're really excited about or you think that are really kind of making a difference here in Jersey?
Great. A couple of them. It was hard to choose. One of them is an El Sistema New Jersey Alliance that is representing about 5 different companies who are modeling their music programs after a Venezuelan model called El Sistema, the system. And it is a holistic approach to music education. So it is an after-school program where kids are there for 2 or 3 days, sometimes even 4 days a week, focused on music and the collaboration that comes with it. There are programs in Trenton and Union City and Patterson and Newark and Orange, and they're working together. It's a really exciting movement. If I could do another, I'm very excited about Field Trips New Jersey, which is an initiative that Dodge was funding in South Jersey for many, many years through the South Jersey Cultural Alliance to get kids back out of the school and exploring the world around them. And we thought it was such a good idea that we've now joined with the Community Foundation of New Jersey to try to set up this bus fund that would pay for buses so that a school that is has kids at 65% free and reduced lunch are able to get out to see the arts, to get out into nature. They can go see colleges, Liberty Science Center, science centers, and history. So
Wow.
we're really proud of that. And we're trying right now to raise money so that fund will be endowed for forever so that teachers can apply in perpetuity.
Right. Isn't it? It's an interesting dynamic when we look at the nonprofit community, when we look at grant making organizations. I don't think most folks realize that really most grant making organizations are working to kind of bridge some of the gaps that some of us even take for granted. I mean, obviously, when you and I went to school, field trips were just part of the deal, right?
Right.
I mean, we just went. I mean, you went probably on 1 or 2 field trips a quarter, and you got to see a little bit of the world, whether it was a museum or whatever it was. And now that's like a luxury item for our school kids.
Right. It's impossible for them to get out of their own little area. And we all know that when you get exposed to something new, you see this as an opportunity that you could pursue.
Right. Wow, that's a great program. And so, all right. So Wendy, if we gave you the Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin magic wand, the magic pixie dust, the fairy dust, if we just let you wiggle your nose and make something happen, what would you do, Wendy?
I love this question. Well, I think I would make sure that every child had a chance to tap into their own creativity and was in a classroom with teachers who were really joyous about teaching. They were infusing the arts, and they were inspiring kids to solve problems and think critically by applying what they were learning to the real world. And that those teachers were being supported by enlightened principals and superintendents who believed and saw that the power of the arts and creativity would help their whole school culture. So that's all I want.
That's it? Just that?
That's it.
All right. Well, Wendy, I know that you are working hard to that end all across our state. I know you've been a great partner for our foundation. I know that we are working together on a project with the Count Basie Theater where we kind of hope to bring arts education to a new level. with at least a few school districts to start, and then hopefully scaling it out in an even bigger way. So I'm really excited to work with you on that project. And where would folks go to find more about the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation?
They would go to www.grdodge.org.
Cool. And so if they wanted to, like, let's say they were particularly touched by that by your field trip busing program, right? Would they be able to just go onto that website and go make a difference right there?
Oh yes, they would go to the Community Foundation of New Jersey's website, and they could make a difference right there. Or just email me even. Can I give out that address?
Listen, absolutely. You can give out your cell phone number. You can give out you can give out family information. We're fine with whatever.
Actually, they could go to info at fieldtripnj.org.
Info at fieldtripnj.org.
Yes.
Cool. Wendy Liscow, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Director Educational Programming for the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation, doing amazing work across the state. And really, I know that you and I are absolutely in lockstep around making sure that we introduce the arts to as many of today's youth as we possibly can, so that we can kind of get their creative juices flowing and open up their new horizons, right?
You betcha.
Awesome.
That's why they should all come to the Teen Arts Festival.
Absolutely. Teen Arts Festival here at the State Teen Arts Festival happening. That is happening in the first, June? I should really know this off the top of my head, right?
I know. Me too.
Wendy, wait. Can you stall for a second, Wendy? Can you help me out? So what, did you do anything fun this weekend? Anything great? Nothing? You got nothing.
Oh, I had a sleepover with my 25-year-old daughter.
Oh, good. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. The Teen Arts Festival opening evening is May 31st, and then it's June 1st and 2nd at Ocean County College. Thank you for filling in for me for a second there, Wendy. Thank you so much for your time. And you listen. You just let me know. I will send. I will be happy to send Daggett a quick note and let him know that it's okay for you to go back to sleep for a little while. Okay.
Oh, please do.
All right, Wendy. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Wendy Liscow, Director Educational Programming. The head of the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation is Chris Daggett, who some of you may remember was the former gubernatorial candidate, and a really all-around great guy and doing great work with that foundation across a number of fronts. Anyway, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We'll talk, let's talk about education a little more. How about we talk about South Brunswick education when we get